We are back on the Chosen Life podcast. We're just going to jump right into it. Ranen from Soul Reviver, Jonathan, Chosen Lawyer. We promised you the episode, the shoes, and we're not going to disappoint. Because, Ranen, when you think of sneakers and kicks, what do you automatically think of, right? You think of the Jordan 1 High OG, right?
Oh, for sure.
And back from 1985, we gone back in a time machine 40 years ago, sitting right next to us. This is an original pair. These are the first ever ones. These were the band breads. I found them. They look like they came out of a dumpster, but these are an original pair. Man, these are not Michael Jordan size, so clearly Michael did not wear these in the game. But have you ever seen a more abused pair of shoes than these?
This is actually crazy. Seeing these, I think that they're definitely worn is the word, but I think that's why they've survived for so long, is because they were actually worn. But for 1985, I don't think it's that bad. I mean, you can hear like it's a little crunching a bit there, but it's
gonna crumble.
It's alive.
If we're gonna put these on, our feet are actually gonna crumble. That's the funny thing. When I bought these at the time, this was on Goat. There was 2 pairs available. These ones for next to nothing, and an almost brand new pair. And the new pair was like 2,000 US.
Yeah.
I should have bought the new pair. At one point, they're probably worth closer to 20 grand. Oh well, c'est la vie. Here we are. But the funny thing is, these are in better condition. Back we had a Jordan store in Toronto.
Yeah.
And they had a display of all the 31, 32 editions.
I remember.
These are better conditioned than the one they had at the Jordan store.
Yeah.
So I don't know what these are quite worth, but it was one of those things that like you collect Jordan 1s. To have an original pair of Jordans as a collection, gotta do it.
For sure.
But now I'm stuck, man. I look at these things and I think to myself, do I restore them or do I leave them in its original condition? And I don't know, 'cause I'm never going to wear them again. Like, there's no way. Like, you literally, I think, have to recreate this into an almost brand new shoe, right?
Yeah, if technically, if you wanted to get them restored, you could, but it would change like a lot of the, things from originally from 1985, like the soles, for example, like this alone, this is like the original bottoms that you have here, but we could take this out, put a whole new sole on there, for example, but that would take away the, what's 1985. So it's,
look at that. It's so worn down. There's no tread left at the bottom of this heel.
yeah.
Like, this dude must have played some major basketball in these shoes. It's probably like a guy working in a factory or something, but like, we're just imagining like you have an NBA player playing with these. Size 10, probably a point guard. But these shoes went through a war. These were probably somebody's shoes.
Yeah.
This was the shoes, and they wore it until the thing literally fell apart. You can even see, I don't know if that's glue residue or what there is here.
I wonder if, the person that, you got it from was the original owner, if they knew the original owner, or did they find them in like some storage unit, like lost, and, I wonder.
There's always a story, like you remember those little G.I. Joe figurines?
Yeah.
So I used to collect those at one point, and like you buy them on eBay, and somebody found Toys R Us old stock that they're sitting in the cartons, and like 20 years later, and somebody forgot about them in the back room. It's like the holy grail.
They go for a lot right now. There's like a resale market on those things.
I wish I kept those also. Let's not go there. I just sold them. I didn't want to deal with them. Like I decided as a collector, I'm only going to collect something that I'm actually going to use. So sneakers, I'm actually going to use. If I'm going to wear a watch, I'm actually going to wear it, and it tells time. I'm not collecting stuff just for the sake of collecting and taking up space.
No cards or anything like that.
Nothing. Everything has to have usability to it.
That's a good motto to go with. Yeah,
I like it. It's different. But, we could theoretically go the rest of our lives and never see another pair of these. So what do you do with a pair like this? Like right now, I just displayed in the showcase. Like, do you wrap these? Like, is there anything more to preserve? I mean, they're about to crumble anyways. Like, what is left to do with these shoes?
If you wanted to keep it as display, I think you have it here in the glass. I think that's the starters. Like, if you wanted to wrap it, you could.
Yeah.
You would have to change the wrap over time, just as plastic gets older. You don't want it to like stick on the leather there.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, they're pretty healthy for their age. Honestly, it's healthy, and they're not being moved or being worn. So having oxygen there, like right now, you're taking it out of the, the glass casing. It's healthy for it.
It's actually a really great dating conversation piece as well, because used to be, you'll come back to my place, listen to some music, Now like, nah, music, who listens to music? It's like, oh, I got original pair of Jordan 1s. You want to come see the Jordan 1s?
Stand outside of Foot Locker. Like, hey, you guys want to go to my place to see the 1985 Jordan 1s?
Great. Absolutely. If these shoes could talk. No, I'm joking. But it's something that any collector would lose their mind on. They've never left the house. They're never going to leave the house, and I was lucky to get them. And that's where one of the things is my mom taught me from a young age. If you see something you like, buy it on the spot, because when you come back again, it's going to be gone. So if you're on vacation somewhere, or you're at a sneaker convention, or you're looking on GOAT, if you see that pair you've always wanted, it's the right price, whatever it is, grab it now, because it probably ain't coming back.
I like that.
So sitting here now, my friend, it's the year 2025. Sneakers have evolved so much over the last 15 years. We've seen the rise and fall of Yeezys, rise and fall of Currys, remember when KDs were a thing? The one guy that I've always been stuck on is LeBron. You got this Jordan LeBron debate, right?
Yeah.
Who's the better basketball player of all time? Can debate that all you want. When it comes to sneakers, there's no comparison. You got the Jordan brand, you got the Jordan 1s, nothing will ever touch it. Why can't LeBron come out with a freaking normal pair of shoes? Like, why are his shoes all so butt ugly and nobody wants a pair of LeBrons to save your life? Like, I'd rather have a pair of Currys. I'd rather have a pair of freaking Kobe's. Kobe's are way bigger than LeBron's ever were in the sneaker game. Why is LeBron's sneaker game so weak?
I couldn't answer that question for you, man. I like the 10s. The LeBron 10s were nice.
Soldiers? Don't even know what a LeBron 10 looks like. My life depended on it. But in all seriousness, like, if I'm LeBron, I want that staying power. And I think he's tried to make his shoes more accessible, I guess. He had this like Shaq fantasy, but like they're still not cheap. But they're just ugly. I'm sorry to say it. Like, I'm sorry. I wouldn't be caught dead in a pair of LeBrons versus a pair of Jordans. When LeBron retires, 10, 15 years later, we ain't going to the LeBron store and we're not going to be wearing LeBron branded shoes. Like, it's not becoming its own brand.
Yeah.
I think he missed a golden opportunity. I think he could have made it that he could have been on the Jordan level.
Yeah.
We talk about the Jordan brand. Why are we talking about the LeBron brand?
I think that they did well with back in the day, the Miamis. The Miami, those ones are nice. Okay. I do think so. That's to try to put more on the list there, give LeBron a little bit more credit. But the Miamis were nice back in the day.
Yeah, but like he could have been a brand. You didn't think about it.
Yeah.
The guy, if he would have stayed alive, I think Kobe was going in that direction.
Yeah.
I think because people loved wearing the Kobe's in general.
They did, yeah.
And they're a weird fit though. It's funny because I'm a Nike 10. I can't wear a Kobe 10. I think I actually have to go up on them. I think I'm a Kobe 10 and a half. Although my days of playing point guard are probably non-existent. But LeBron, man, I would think he saw the Jordan brand of where it went. Like, think about Jordan now. He hasn't played basketball for how many years?
Yeah.
And he collects those royalty checks every single month, every single year. And he's his own enterprise. If I was LeBron, I think that regardless of the debate of who's the greatest basketball player, the fact that Jordan did what he did from a branding point of view, I don't know in our lifetime if we're going to see another athlete fulfill the legacy of what Jordan did with the Jordan brand.
Do you think that maybe it's, too much pressure for that athlete, maybe, like to try to, live up to something like Air Jordan?
I just don't know if it can be done anymore. Like, the thing was, even the whole Jordan debate, like sitting here looking at these shoes, right?
Yeah.
He got very lucky that the NBA banned the colorway and Nike paid the fine and all that. But sorry, these are high top Air Force Ones. These things existed before Jordan. Jordan didn't design these. They designed the Air Force One. Then they went to Peter Moore. He put this together. I still don't love the Jordan symbol. Like, that one still has a kind of you see that there, the Jordan wings. Never understood that symbol. Don't love it. Like it when it has the Nike High OG. Not as soon as you put the Jumpman on it, it actually lessens the shoe. So you have to have it as a Nike High OG. But I think he was in the right place at the right time, had the right mystique. Because you think about it, like you've had Kobe, you've had LeBron, you've had Shaq. Like, Shaq should have been it. but Shaq went with Reebok with the pump,
Yeah.
and then wanted the cheap shoes. So no, I think as far as where Jordan went with that, I don't think we're gonna see another Jordan ever again. Not in our lifetimes. Not as far as from a branding point of view. I think
I agree.
so many athletes have tried in Agassi and Federer in tennis. You know, you think about in boxing, you think of Floyd Mayweather, all these people with him and his Hublot watches. But no, man, I don't know what it is about Jordan, but Jordan is a brand unto himself, and I don't think he'll be ever touched.
He was the first. He was the first one, and you know he paved the way. And it's no one can recreate that. The same meaning of the Air Jordan 1 itself.
So if Nike, if you're listening, and you want to improve your product and you want to do well with sales, you're going to come to me, because here's what we're going to talk about here. Where they're going wrong with all this stuff. You start doing, the Jordan 31s, 32s, 33s, and it's like ever since about past the Jordan 11, like I will not touch anything past the Jordan 11. Even the Jordan 11 for me is iffy, but I love the look of it, but I can't fit in these spaceman shoes. They don't look good on me.
Those are my favorite.
They look amazing, yes. If you can pull off a Jordan 11, you're a gangster. You are OG. But start going Jordan 12s on.
Yeah.
It's like this race to the bottom of ugliness. And it's like, I don't get this. Like, who buys a Jordan 15, 17, 19, like whatever? Like, you start looking at these things. It's like, guys, let's pull it back.
Yeah.
What sells the best? The simplest looks. The Jordan 1s, 3s, 4s, right?
Yeah.
5s. The simpler, the better. So now, when you come to a new athlete, let's say you got the Luka Doncic of this world, right? And the time when you had Westbrook, and you come to them and you say, look, instead of making just a ripoff of another existing shoe, we'll make you your own original shoe.
Yeah.
Part of the thing is, when you brand a Jordan shoe to an athlete, that doesn't give them any real mystique. You're just a Jordan ambassador at that point.
Yeah.
But like, what does a Luka Doncic have to do with a Jordan for me? I'd rather give Luka Doncic his own shoes, But then you actually have to make them original shoes. Like, I don't know who signed Caitlin Clark, but if I was me and I want to capitalize on this whole thing right now, I'd make Caitlin Clark her own shoe. Make it look like a Jordan 1, but not call it a Jordan 1. Call it a Clayton Clark. And you know what? She's going to get her own brand. I'll make dresses and skirts and tights and T-shirts and tank tops and everything. Caitlin Clark. There we go. That's what I'd be doing for the female segment. And I think you'd be selling those things like hotcakes.
Yeah. Well, maybe from what I've heard, like, even if you're collabing with these certain, big brands like this, you don't necessarily even have the full control or the full ability to design and how you want it, or design the brand how you want it, from what I've heard.
Look, I've offered my services in the past. I contacted them, 2 marketing people in Nike, told them my story about my foot and how I went to the Jordan 1, how it changed my life, and how I became the Jordan 1 lawyer. They still haven't called me. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
I haven't heard back from them. So I guess they don't want me to be an ambassador at all. I don't want me to help in design. They need the help, man. They need the help, because I don't know, man. I've been going to the stores. What I see is a lot of inventory sitting on the shelves. I see a lot of shoes that should have never made it to production. And like some of these colorways, some of the materials they're using, like they're failing. They're failing miserably.
Yeah.
They're going to the outlet. They're still not going to sell at the outlet. Like, why even manufacture these things? Like, I kind of feel like we're at this weird point in time in sneakers where it's like over market saturation. People are sick and tired of seeing so much stock. People miss the old stuff. You got to reissue the old stuff, but not too quickly, and keeping everybody happy. Like, like when Yeezys, for example, were going to reissue the breads. That was like a huge thing.
Yeah.
Jordan 1's going to apparently reissue back the Shattered.
Yeah.
I'm okay with. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with that.
Of course.
All day long. Why not? I don't care. Like, people saying, "Oh, that's going to destroy the value of the Shattered." Like, you're wearing them anyways. Who cares? But like, I'd rather instead of having 10 Jordan 1s come out, bring out 2 and make
nice colorways
and proper colorways.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And quality. That's it. That's all we're asking for. Just nice colors and nice quality. That's it.
You take a Shattered 1. The leather is different, is it not?
I haven't seen it in person, but yes.
There's something to it. It's a better texture.
Sorry, the newer release or
the original?
the original one. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, it's like this buttery leather. It's a way different quality.
It's tumble leather.
Yes, so we collectors aren't dumb. We know the difference in qualities, right? But when they bring back like Royals Reimagined, like Reimagined is what, a nightmare? Like this half leather, half patent, half suede piece of crap. Like I don't know if they sold even one pair of those. Like they're just sitting there on the shelves dying.
It's like the reimagined Bread Force.
So
each their own, you know?
So now, would you say versus the so when, from let's say about 2015 to 2025 now, in the last 10 years, when was the peak, do you feel, of sneakers in your business as far as reviving shoes and most demand? When did you see the most amount of action?
So I think back in, if you're talking about 2015 to 2019, I think those were good times when, sorry, phone's here. 2015, sorry, it's 2015 to 2019. That's when, you know, buying and selling was, I think that at a good, sorry, at a good time. Buying and selling in 2015. And I think 2019 and up, 2020, you know, 2021, 2022, 2024, I think that's when people want to preserve their sneakers more. If that makes sense.
So today, are you finding people are more preserving for collecting or preserving them for wearing?
I think it's a mix of both. I definitely think it's a mix of both. People are preserving to collect. People don't know if it's going to be worth more or less in the future because now they've seen prices skyrocket and they've seen prices hit the all-time low. So it's like, you know, I compare all the sneakers all the time to stocks. You don't know what it's going to be like until the future, you know, comes, and then it's something completely different.
Is it actually better for your business when people aren't buying a lot of sneakers because then they're preserving their existing ones?
It doesn't matter for us, honestly. Like it could be like the sneaker market could be low, the sneaker market could be high. There's always going to be sneaker heads all the time, so it doesn't affect our business in that way.
And just to put it out there, the stereotype sneaker collector, who the sneakerhead is, they're not all 17-year-old kids in high school, right?
No.
They come in all ages, all shapes, all sizes. So, am I your oldest sneakerhead?
I had to think about that.
Or do you have somebody in their 70s?
You're one of the older ones, I would say. One of the older, more mature ones. I'll word it that way. How about that?
You know what? And it's funny because like I have like these friends and like, you know, people in their 40s and 50s, and they're massive sneakerheads, you know, but they're mainly, they like their Jordans, you know, like they like their certain segment, and they don't want to wear dress shoes anymore. Like it's done, and we're proud of it, you know?
Yeah.
And youngest sneakerheads that you see, like that send you stuff?
Yeah, definitely. There's young sneakerheads for sure. All different types of ages.
Like as young as like what, 10, 12?
Yeah,
that, like
12
and
years
the
old.
parents contact you, I assume, too, or they contact you directly?
So
Like
one of our clients actually, we did something down at Vaughan Mills last year for Father's Day, and one of our clients actually came there with his father, and there's actually a pair of Yeezys, and yeah, we restored it for them, and then when we dropped it off, the father was there as well, and it's nice to see that, you know, the parents are supporting their children's sneakerhead game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to meet my son, obviously, Jeremiah.
Yes.
Jeremiah Direct. And we are father-son sneaker collectors.
Yeah.
Like we bonded over it with my nephew David, and, you know, traveling around. And, you know, I'll never forget SneakerCon 1 in New York and getting there early, pretty early, we thought. And you can see the lines wrapping around the city.
Yeah.
SneakerCon New York is like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like the amount of people there coming from everywhere and descending just for sneakers, like it's mind-boggling.
I'd love to go to SneakerCon in the States. I think that from what I've seen, like even the pits is crazy there.
Well, if I had to put one on my list as far, we talked about the sneakers we want, but destinations, can you imagine SneakerCon Japan?
That'd be crazy.
And imagine the sneakers you're going to see there.
Yeah.
If I had to go one destination, it's Tokyo. Got to see the sneaker game over there because they love North American culture.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd see sneakers you've never even heard of.
They have stores in Japan that have like these old sneakers, and they go for like a decent amount of price. One of our clients actually just picked up a pair of Flu Games. I think he said it was for like $60. $60 Flu Games. But these are like the suede ones from 2010. So they definitely had some hidden gems there, I think, in Japan.
So I was writing today's episode for that listener who has, you know, one or two pair of sneakers. They've always been kind of interested in them, and they want to become a sneakerhead. They want to get into the game. what advice would you give them? I know what I would say, but what advice would you give an aspiring sneakerhead in getting into their shoe game?
I would say wear what you like. You know, you see something that you like, wear that. Like, don't worry about what other people think is cool, what other people think is expensive. Like, personally, wear what you like. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
My advice, buy very slow. You think you like one pair today, you may like something very different in 3 to 6 months from now. So don't get too big, too crazy. Try a little bit of different stuff. You know, if you have 3 or 4 different kinds you're thinking of trying, buy them over time. You may gravitate to something over time and then slowly build the collection. Be very strategic.
Yeah.
Do your research about it. Talk to people. Go to conventions. Go to as many stores as you can. Read online. Ask the questions. So one of the things is, you know, you don't want to blow your budget too quickly and realizing, man, if I just bought a little smarter, eBay has guaranteed authenticity now. I could have saved a ton of money buying by eBay. Whatever it is, you know, be very careful about Marketplace and Kijiji. There's more fakes now than ever. I used to buy all the time off there. I never buy anymore. It's just not worth it. For me, it's GOAT and it's eBay at this point, and the occasional sneaker convention. But be careful because it kind of sucks when you pay full pop or more and you get a pair. And yes, you know what? Anybody says the fakes look real. They can look very real from far away. When you wear them, you can tell a fake right away. They're stiff. They fit weird. Like if you're wearing the exact same size 10 all the time and you bring in another pair of fakes and you slip it on, you'll know right away it's a fake. So this is where, you know, there's a reason why they're real, the real quality. So just, you know, try not to get duped out there, I would say. And don't do it to make money. Like as soon as you start like buying and selling and it becomes a business, it sucks the whole life out of it. So buy them for fun, wear them for fun, keep them clean. You know, like I'm jealous of Nelly. I wish I could have only one new pair every time, but most of us can't buy 365 pair of shoes a year. So try to keep them clean. Keep your pair of beaters. Have a special pairs just for the winter. Certain shoes should never see the winter ever with salt. Salt is the worst thing for shoes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're killers.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see all that salt in the bottom of the sole. You know, they touch the leather. So just be strategic about when you're wearing it. Certain shoes, it's raining out there. Don't wear them on a rainy day. Don't be afraid to put them in the box.
Wear a protector. Or
don't drive in them. Just drive around in your slides and switch over. And just by not driving, increasing, that already affects. So I think that's about 10 tips there. So 10 tips on how to be clean sneaker collectors. But at the end of the day, it's fun. There's a culture to it. And I think no matter what industry people are in, when people see you with a certain pair of shoes, like any of these pair of shoes you come across the street, people are going to know you're legit. They're going to talk to you. So it's a great conversation piece.
For sure. And eBay's authentic guarantee, it's, you know, that's the market right now.
So again, Soul Reviver, how do people reach you, get their sneakers cleaned?
Hit us up on Instagram at soul.reviver.
Amazing. So this is where you take shoes from beaten to glory. So reach out if you want to get your sneakers done up. I know I have. I really appreciate, you know, we went from working together and cleaning shoes to friendship, and it's really cool how the sneaker culture works that way. So I appreciate you for looking after my collection.
Of course.
And thank you for sharing the wisdom. And I'm sure we'll have you back another week in the future. And you never know where the world of sneakers goes. You know, we'll be back in 2 years. Who knows what'll be the newest, greatest thing. So we'll stay tuned on the latest collab or where it's going to go.
Thank you for having us, Jonathan.
Thanks for being with us.